out down some dark alleyway thing.
Uh, oh God. Hold up. I'm just being fat ass because I ate food. Um, and I walked about like 2 steps because it reminds me. So remind me that one time where like you told me a story when you were like having a somewhat of a fucking bad day. But at the same time, you were trying to be
Yeah,
nice, and you try to give some other homeless guy some money, but you
yeah, he's just
literally
sitting
threw
there
it
and
in
it's
his
like,
face. Like, yeah, that's not how you're
pretty
supposed to
much, I
fucking do
like
it.
shoved it to him. I was like, here you go. And he didn't react. He put his hands up and he's like, whoa, that's a lot of money. I'm like, no, it's not. So I put it in his hand and then like stormed off. And I was like, so angry at myself for that. I almost walked back and said, look, I'm sorry. I'm just in a bad mood. I didn't mean to be so,
Is that
what's the word?
that was just there's so much in that like scene I can imagine being out of context and confusing for the guy.
Yeah. It's like, whoa,
Uh,
this guy just gave me £40 and then said sorry. Because I
uh,
was so angry at myself. I was already in a bad mood. Like after I walked off, I went for a little walk and I just like started kicking the grass and kicking pebbles around just to like vent some anger.
yeah. I can imagine being that angry. I've been a few times at least in my life.
Yeah.
Usually, the first reaction is that don't talk or look into anyone's eyes because you're gonna fucking want to kill them or something like that. That's usually my
No, I
reaction.
know how to like manage my anger at this point.
It's absolute fucking maniac rage. But I mean, as compared to this
But
time,
you know
so
that
like
kid
you
that
didn't even mean to run into the guy. You're not
no, it's
looking.
just a
Yeah.
helpful convenience, I suppose.
uh, I assume he was.
Like
I
he
mean,
said he
you
saw
did
me.
say he was very happy about it.
Yeah.
Mm. I think maybe 500 pounds at least would help him fix, the fucking broken window.
Yeah, I don't know. He said he got it for free because someone was throwing it out. Like
But
just
still, that's
hashtag just homeless things.
yeah. But I mean, for someone
Um,
who's homeless and pretty much got nothing but the caravan, that's a massive like donation. Uh,
yeah,
it's like imagine trying to get employed as that homeless guy. It's probably gonna be impossible because our companies are just gonna reject you just because you're homeless or something like that. They're gonna start thinking, oh, maybe he's on drugs
mm,
or you know he's not gonna show up next day or the first day or he's not what do you call it? He's not gonna be good at work. He's probably like gonna be very rude to the customers or something like that.
well,
There's
there
like a
is
lot of
a place
assumptions
for
on that.
people like him. Like, I don't know, maybe he's not the most intelligent person in the world. You put him in some kind of manual labor job,
Yeah,
like stick him in a warehouse. He's got boxes to move around. Um, or maybe
I mean, I don't
I don't
think.
know, something like a furniture moving company or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think people. I think like the forklift job is probably manageable by almost anyone. I mean, almost. I've seen enough
Yeah,
YouTube
I did look at
shorts.
something. I looked at an article like a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. It was like IQ brackets for each like.
Job.
So you've got something like 100. 105, something like that, like 95. So these types of jobs here, this is like the average IQ. So I don't know, like talking to people in some way. You've got like the dum dum kind of stuff down here at 80, which is literally just, And I watched this video. It's like if you're 140, you can go into like aerospace engineering and nuclear science. So even if like wherever you are on the spectrum, there's somewhere for you. Like there is a place you can be in society.
I mean, even the guy on YouTube with the 75 IQ said that he was supervising his like job and his his job. So probably even below
Hmm.
than 80, you still can't get a job. I I don't know. I mean, the guy in the video did look like at least he was somewhat well mannered anyway. So if you remember the
I
video
was
that I
gonna say
shared with
like
you.
it's weird because on paper he has an IQ of 75, which is like pathetic and basically unusable in society outside of. He's average for like sub-Saharan native Africans, where all they do is like chase wildebeest with a bow and arrow and build
Yeah.
mud huts.
I
That's
mean,
their society at 75 IQ. But he had, I guess you call it like conscientiousness or like self-awareness. Like I don't know what it
yeah.
is, but it was a different type of intelligence that even a lot of smart people don't have. It's not something like common sense, but on a wider spectrum.
It's maybe it's a guy who like just understands his own limitations or something.
Yeah.
Uh so I don't know how you describe it. Maybe like humbleness or something like that. Because some people look at like I guess humbleness is may look like you putting yourself down or something. Uh, in some people's perspective, sometimes
Yeah.
it feels like that's what they see when, but really, when the word humble is just like you kinda know where you stand.
Yeah, it's like a practicality of self-awareness or something. Yeah, Ramon pissed me off today as well. No surprise. Um,
Again?
Honestly, I can feel. What metaphor do I use? When you sellotape something to the wall, right? You put something on the wall and you put sellotape across it,
And you feel
and
it's
you know
gonna
the
fall.
sellotape will not hold it forever. It's gonna fall off
Yeah.
in like 3 days. It'll just peel off slowly, and then one day it will go boom, and it just falls off the wall. Like our relationship, or our friendship, is like peeling right now, and it seems to have been that way for.
Is it because he's being a bitch like the whole time and doesn't seem
He's
to
just
want to fix the problem?
today. Today is like a big giveaway of his like nature, I guess you call it, which is it didn't come as a surprise to me because I've seen it coming, like a pattern recognition. And previously, when I've had like he's one of these quote unquote Christians where he doesn't go to church, but he wears a cross and he says he's Christian
He's a make
and he's
believe
like,
religious guy. You want to
yeah,
call it?
he'll
It's like he'll say, "Oh yeah, I believe in this, but I don't do anything that
he'll cherry
is
pick the
required."
best
Yeah.
parts of the religion because it makes him feel safe. Like in the Bible, it says you can just say, you go to the church, you like pour out some wine, wave a cross around, say that you believe in Jesus, and all of a sudden you're saved, right?
Yeah.
And in real life, it doesn't work that way. You
A
have to
funny
put
thing, you read
in.
the Bible and it doesn't sound like that at all. uh,
Um,
but yeah, it's like basically what's her name? The other one that was fucking the guys at fucking church study session. I forgot what it was.
Amber.
Amber, yeah. So it's basically the male Amber.
No, not that bad.
Getting there.
I'll have to like explain over the course of a few minutes or whatever.
All right, go ahead.
So he's I'm distracted by my drawing. Um, like he's because I've read this before. There's when you give something to someone, the act of giving can be selfish,
Yeah.
as in a true selfless act of giving involves making no assumption that the person needs something in the first place.
Yeah.
Because you giving them or you offering them something is an indication that you believe that they're like not good enough in
Oh
some
yeah.
way, and you giving them something would fix that. So there's something wrong with them, and you can fix it by giving them something. Um. So if you only ever give when someone asks, then you're basically permitting them to decide when they want help or not. It's totally in their control. You're not impressing or asserting yourself on them in any way, which makes it like a positive gesture.
Mm.
But what he does is absolutely the first one. Like when I had less money than him, what he'd do is he'd essentially like force me to take cash every so often. And I'm like, I don't mind. It's free money. If you want to give it to me, I'll take it. Um, but what he's done now is he believes that it's not a gift. Basically, what he wanted me to do is go to the bank to change £50 in cash into £51 coins, so he can give them as a tip to delivery drivers. And he's done this before, and he made a big fuss out of it, where he like tried to hurry me along, and so he asked me. I turn up to the high street. He's waiting there. He's like, "Can you? If I give you £50 in cash, can you change this?" And I was like, first of all, like, why can't you do it? You have a bank. Go to your bank. And he was like, my bank is in blah blah, and it's far away. I don't want to drive there. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So I go into the bank. He follows me in. He's standing right behind me. Like, he's like, yeah, go on, Tom. Talk to the woman. I'm like, just fuck off, back off, leave me alone. I'll do this, okay? Like, calm
Yeah.
down. So I go to the woman and I'm like, hi, can I have £50 coins? And she immediately says, is this for your friend? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, well, we can't do it because he doesn't have an account here.
Guys, have you seen Molly? He bring
Block.
me here for my big
Um,
day, and I'm lost
yeah.
and I can't
So
find him.
she asked me, is this for your friend? I'm like, yeah. Does it matter? And she's like, we've already told him not. He has to have an account here to deal with us. And I was like, I turn around, I'm like, you hear that? She wants you to make an account. Like, make an account. So I say it loudly enough that everyone in the room hears it. And he's like, yeah, whatever. Like, kind of shrugs. So I do it for him, and he's bothering me the whole time. He's like hurrying me along. I'm just like, for fuck's sake, like make an account. Or go to your own bank. And
Okay.
so he does the same thing again.
That must be a
Um,
fucking massive fucking annoyance to deal with at this stage.
Well, he got really annoyed with me. I'll explain it. So we turn up, and right from the get-go, he's already got £50 in cash ready. He's like getting too close, like trying to force the money into my hand. He's like putting his hand on my arm to try and like coax me to do what he wants. So first of all, I'm like, I know we did this last time. You still haven't made an account. You've had all this time to go to your bank, and you haven't done that either. Like, if this is important as you say it is, you would have,
Done it yourself.
So he's like, oh, just do it. I've done so much for you. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, never mind.
Whenever you try to get me to accept something, you're trying to now use it as leverage over me to get me to do what you want later.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought. I didn't say that to him. And I basically just stood my ground. He's just bothering me about it, and I think for the first time, basically ever, I saw him like genuinely angry at me. I'm like, it's not the end of the world. You don't need to give a delivery driver £1 as a tip. You can just not do that. It's £1. It's like a minute's work. Sorry.
Maybe.
Well, it's probably an hour for me, but
What, 5 minutes?
I'm trying getting the paintbrush.
Minimum wage in the UK is going to
Yeah.
almost £12 an hour, which means £1 would be 5 minutes work. Like, you've just given him 5 minutes. You can get that if he goes for a piss break. So what else? So I said to him, like, we've done this before and you haven't made an account. And he's like, oh, why are you scared to go in there? I'm like, why are you scared to make an account? And he just stopped. It's like, it's just getting mad at me because he didn't have a response. He's like, oh, just do it. I'm like, just make an account. You were told that last time.
Yeah.
The thing is, I could have gone in there and I could have done it. But I remembered how he behaved last time, like a year ago or 6 months ago, whatever it was, and he really pissed me off. Tried to push me around. And I said make an account. He's nodded. He was like, yeah, okay. And I didn't. Like, it's not my problem that you haven't done it because you want something from me now. So he's like, oh, whenever you want something, I'll remember this and I'll say no. I'm like, keep going, because I'm remembering all of this. I'm going to keep track of all the things that you're saying to try and... And my respect for you is dropping in chunks every fucking sentence you say like this. Like, I've done so much for you.
Yeah, that kind of makes it that the only reason he done anything like nice to you is just because he was, I don't know, hoping to get something from it in the future. That's it. He was not trying to be nice.
So I did say that to him. I'm like, don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful that you give me all this money. But if you're just giving it to gain leverage over me, to get me to do something you want later, I don't want it. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, you're just too scared. He's like trying every tactic he can think of to manipulate me into just getting it done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can sit there and you can try and... But you can make up any excuse or any... I'm not doing it. And he just sulked. He went silent. He stopped talking, and I'd ask him another question like, "So you buying the coffees today, or am I?" And then he'd sit there sulking. He was like, "Oh, Tom, can't do a simple favor." I'm like, Ramon, can't open an account. And he just frowns at me and like sulks even more. Um,
Fuck's
and I'm
sake.
just
Like,
like,
there's honestly no reason to
these.
do that. Like this actually makes, like, at least even from a like religious perspective, this makes did your good deeds redundant.
Yeah, and today I learned something, right? I already picked up on his attitude. Because when there were days where he'd hand me £20, like a £20 note, um, I was like, I don't really care, like, give it to someone that needs it.
Yeah.
And he's like, just take it. I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." And there were times where he would, um, like, we'd go to a restaurant, he'd be like, "Okay, I'll pay." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And when I got that payment of like, what was it, 7,100? The first thing he said is like, "Now you've got all this money, you can pay me. You can start paying."
Oh
And I
wow.
was like, seriously, is that the only reason? So I'm pretty sure this whole time, like all along, he's been essentially trying to purchase my servitude.
Yeah, I
And he
guess.
got genuinely angry today when it didn't work, when he found out that it's not happening. Like, I never agreed to this trade. Every time you give me something, I take it because, you're giving it to me. And even when I say I don't want it, you still push it on
Yeah,
me.
he kind of insists.
Like, you fucked up. Like, on someone who, let's say, doesn't have a spine or is worried about, um, I don't know, like peer pressure, it would work. Like, he would absolutely, um, like walk all over them. But against me, I'm like, go ahead and complain. I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. Like, try and get mad at me, and I will tell you why it's your fault, not mine. And he just sulked the whole day. So yeah, today was
Let me turn it on.
because it's
Interesting.
kind of been, as I said, it's like our friendship has kind of been like peeling off.
Yes,
And
like
today was like a deliberate tug at the sellotape.
yeah.
Oh no, these are
Fuck.
not
Uh,
Uh, yeah, that doesn't seem like
I don't
it's
know
going
if it's
anywhere
like,
good at this stage. Because now I think he just now expects things from you.
yeah, I don't know if it's like an anxiety thing where he's scared to lose me as a friend. I don't know. All I know is I do not like what I saw today. I was very unimpressed.
I think annoyed.
I gotta know what to play.
And he doesn't seem to have like an awareness of when he's pissing me off either. So there'll be days where I'm really tired because the pigeons woke me up or whatever. And he'll be like, "Oh, Tom, go get a voluntary job." I'm like, "Shut up, I'm not in the mood. I'm too tired." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sure it's fine. Just go have another coffee." I'm like, "I've already had a coffee, idiot. It doesn't work."
Go inside that portal. You join back, okay? 3, 2, 1. Come on.
You're a kid. Okay, he left. Yeah, that
Yeah,
doesn't seem like
I
it's going anywhere. It's just because that's usually that actually like when someone does that. Like my first reaction is that is this what's been going on like the whole time? Like I thought we were joking, and
yeah.
guy is actually bringing a fucking gun to the picnic. I'm not sure if I used that term around
Yeah.
you, but
Yeah, I do feel used, definitely. But um I don't know what to say. It's gonna be his problem.
I mean it kind of is his problem if you think about it.
Because I'm prepared. I'm like mentally and emotionally prepared to lose him as a friend. So if he tries to like manipulate me any further, what I can do is just say, "See you later."
I think that's
Like
one
I
thing.
cannot be pushed around.
One thing that people don't really, I guess, like thinking about, especially like on the internet for some reason, is that almost at any point you're probably gonna have to be prepared to just tell your friends you don't want to be friends anymore and just fuck off and leave you
Hmm.
alone. And right now I have the same attitude towards my job. For multiple obvious reasons is that I mean, reason number one is that usually if you act desperate, it's like the moment they will think they have a leverage, stop being more assholish. Uh, so you don't want to give people any kind of leverage against you, even if like technically you might need something from them. Um, I think like I guess as I view it right now, like living by principle is way better than fucking sucking up to
Yeah.
people because you really desperately need something.
I will never do that. Like with the homeless guy today,
Yeah.
I said to him like I wasn't sure if I was gonna get stabbed. Like I was just honest with him. Like I just came here to take some pictures. I won't bother you. Um, like I say to people, I don't lie because I don't, and I try my best to only ever say things that are true. Like if someone's like, "Do you shoot pigeons?" I'll say yes. And like, okay, I don't want to talk to you ever again, dickhole. Like, all right. Um,
Vegans.
well, two people have said that so far. One was Mayhay. She's like, yeah, that's kind of cruel. Don't like that. I'm like, well, I have to sleep, so it's non-negotiable. Um,
Oh, is that why you don't talk to my hair as much anymore? I mean, well, maybe she doesn't. Oh, well, never mind. Just forget about that stupid question.
I don't know. I think she's just. It's like the girl thing, isn't it? Where they just get bored of you and they just talk to someone else instead.
Or it could be that, I don't know. It's just because, well, let's just say she has special case. Yes, that's the only excuse I could find for her. Who knows? But yes, it's because like for example at work, like there's been multiple times where some of my coworkers, well only the women, had tried to bully me into doing more work. And my first
Yeah,
reaction
peer
is
pressure.
that, you know, I'll do it when I want to do it. And, you know, you don't get to request more than the working hours that I'm legally obliged because of the contract, basically. Uh, you know, but I told them to fuck off on multiple stages. So they literally fucked off and stopped asking me for doing overtime. Um, Like it was to the point, like it got to a point one time where like she's like, "Oh yeah, you have to stay like in the office and do overtime." I'm like, "I'm not going to do that." And she called her boss to call me to do overtime. And I'm like, you know, I'll do it when I get to do it. You know, it's just like when I'm done with work, I'm not going to
That's like
go home to do
the
more work.
woman way of
So
the woman way of dealing with confrontation is instead of fighting directly, you call peers to pressure.
yeah,
So what you could do is like pick the phone up, play her game, I guess.
hello, Lippy.
Do you know what I have? I actually have something new for you today. Look at that. Holy shit.
Wait,
Like,
hold on, it's a bit
that
choppy.
is
Index
proper hands.
knuckles.